Hi and welcome to the Cult of Crafting. In this video I'll show you a fast and easy way of making tank traps for games like Warhammer 40k, and I'll also show you how to add a rust texture and paint them. It's an easy way of adding some variation to the battlefield. I start by cutting out 2 strips of cardstock to make L-beams. I make one 5mm wide and the other slightly wider because I have to compensate for the thickness of the cardstock when I stick them together. Then I cut the strips in 5cm segments using my cutting mat as a guide. The dimensions aren't meant to be realistic, it's just what I thought would look good for Warhammer 40k miniatures. I'm sticking a 5mm strip onto the wider strip using PVA glue. I'm using a small block as a guide to join the segments at a 90-degree angle. The PVA glue is fast to bond with the cardboard, so you only have to wait a few seconds before you can handle them. And by the way, if this video is helpful to you, give it a like. I decided to give the tank traps a coat of PVA glue to harden them up a bit. Then I let them dry for a while before proceeding to the next step. I line the 3 L-beams up and mark the centers of each beam. Then I stick them together along the lines I just made. Make sure the L-beams align with the centers of the other beams. The first 2 are easy enough, but the third one can be a bit tricky. And here's the tank trap done. Time to paint them up. I wanted to give them a rust texture, so I mix up a couple of drops of Vallejo model color orange brown with PVA glue and baking soda to make a texture paint. I also add some water to thin it down and make it less gloopy. The baking soda will give it a gritty texture and the glue will help it stick better to the model. You could also use a texture paint like Typhus Corrosion instead. Once that's dried, I give it a wash of contrast Gryph-hound orange mixed with water. I add water because I felt the contrast paint was a bit too saturated. Finally, I dry brush the tank traps using orange-brown again. Using a large soft brush, I remove most of the paint from the brush, so the paint will mostly catch the raised areas, like the edges and the grain from the texture paint to create highlights. Now I chose to make the tank traps from L-beams, but you could also make them from H-beams instead. Check out this video if you want to see how to make H-beams. I hope this guide was helpful, thanks for watching and I'll see you in the next one.